Hey, this is just Ben on the front end, here to tell you to give the podcast a rating if you don't mind, and follow it or subscribe to it on whatever you're listening to this on. If you want to send us an email, we'll read it and maybe talk about it on the show. It's deadensigns@gmail.com, and we got a Twitter. Anyway, if you could do all that, please. That'd be really nice. Bye, enjoy the show.
Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Max, I have big life news for you and everybody.
He has.
I'm gonna give you 3 guesses, okay? I'm gonna riff on 3 guesses, all right? What do you think big life news has happened for me?
We're finally getting Paramount contacted you, and we're getting a show on Paramount Plus.
I would have opened with big life news for us, but that's me specifically, not you. It has nothing to do with you. There's your first hint. Drop it. You think Paramount are going to contact me and I'm going to tell you? I'm going to be like, no, I'm keeping that shit for myself. That's my Paramount contact now.
You got that hat deal from DS9ers hat from that we saw on that website.
Oh, like the legit prop Niners hat?
The legit prop.
I hadn't thought about that for a while, but that would be a really good like impulse purchase, right?
Yeah, I'm really like, every once in a while I kind of think back to that and I'm like, fuck.
I'm not a big like, I need a real memorabilia would be so cool to have, but like, damn, a real Niners hat?
Yeah. It could even be like a reproduction. I don't care.
Yeah,
that would be cool to have.
Who's reproing that, huh? Come on, hit us up. Give us some free samples.
Dave, what's he called? What's he called? Ben Sisko.
Avery Brooks.
Avery Brooks. Avery Brooks' forehead sweat is sweated into it. You can see like a stain. Like, yes.
Those are the ones that sell for a premium. Those are the the screen use ones.
I can clone
we'd probably end up getting one of the like backup ones that nobody actually wore.
Yeah, of course.
That would suck. Anyway, no, I didn't buy a Niners hat. One more guess.
No, one more guess.
Come on, knock it out the park.
You finally won that fighting game tournament that you were training for your entire life, maybe?
No, I lost that one. Unfortunately, you didn't have to bring that up, but... No, I did poorly. I got bodied. I immediately, first match, sent to losers. Second match, in losers. Destroyed. Completely opened up. And before you say, well, you obviously hadn't practiced enough, I practiced 2 hours a day, every day for the last year and a half. Oh. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Fuck it.
Yeah. But it was... I think your first mistake was to pick, like, Spock as your character.
I shouldn't have chosen
in that Gundam tournament.
I shouldn't have chosen Spock in my Street Fighter tournament, because then I'm sitting there at the cabinet, sitting there at the screen. I'm going, where's Spock? I don't see my character here. And I'm like, this is
crazy,
dude. This is King of Fighters 15.
This was a Street Fighter.
This is what are you talking about?
This is Guilty
Where's
Gear
Spock?
5. Where's Spock?
Spock is my anchor.
Yeah.
God damn it! I have King, I have Leona, and then I have Spock.
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't have Spock? And then they're like just use that. And obviously I don't have Spock, and then I can't fucking win because I don't have my fucking anchor. Fuck it. Never mind. Whatever. No, that wasn't the big news.
That wasn't the big news.
Big news is, Max, I'm being elevated to a new platform.
Oh,
none of you can even comprehend anymore. Exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
You got one of those Tinders where you have to get invited to it by someone else.
Yeah, it's called BlueSky. I got a code, and I'm in.
Yeah, you can.
I'm in the exclusive club where apparently they have a thing saying, yeah, we actually use every image posted gets fed into image learning algorithm. Also, this is a space mainly for crypto people and stuff like that.
NFTs and stuff. Yeah.
But at least it doesn't limit
BlueSky, OpenSea, that's another one. There's some other ones that a lot of blue.
Well, it's because Twitter's color was blue. So you want to get something kind of associating, And Twitter's, like mascot imagery is a bird, a blue bird.
Mm-hmm.
So the blue sky.
Sky.
That's where birds live.
Because when we make our own product, we gotta work for associations. We can't just make a completely new thing because it will scare people away. We gotta.
Well, I mean, when it comes from a place of, hey, look, the company's being run into the ground by an idiot. We need something that just later, because I loaded it up and I'm literally looking at it like, oh, this is, it's just exactly what Twitter layout is.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly the exact same. No difference. It's like minor differences, minor aesthetic choices, but everything you expect to be in the same place is in the same place, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm in now. I'm in the elite club. Everybody's
finally
laughing at people who aren't in. It's great.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in, so you're laughing at me specifically.
I literally got in today. As soon as I got home, I got a code while I was at work, and I was like, yes, yippee! Got it from a friend, invitation code.
Mm-hmm.
And I get home, and I rush to my computer, open up the DMs that I had the code in, quick, copy it over, copy, paste. Make an account, go. And now I'm in, and now I have one follower, and I'm sure that will not increase too much. You can't follow yourself, idiot. But here's the thing: when I do get some more invitation codes, that's it's going right back into our pocket. Dead Ensigns on BlueSky. We're gonna be. How many dedicated Star Trek things do you think are on there at the moment?
I don't.
Probably not that
zero.
many. But we can get in on the ground floor, dude. This is what you're talking about with YouTube and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
It's a blossoming platform. They want to entice.
Get the algorithm going. You know, whenever they say whenever the algorithm thinks Star Trek, we want it. To go Dead Ensigns.
Mm-hmm. We want it to say Dead Ensigns. We want the BlueSky people, the elite, to see Dead Ensigns. What's this? Star Trek skewed general media podcast hosted by myself, Ben, and my friend Max.
Yes, that's me.
Welcome. Sneaky little extra. Did the intro as part of the bit. They're going to see that and they're going to go, well, let me just listen to an episode here. What are they talking about?
I'm a billionaire.
Oh, I'm higher up at Paramount, the Paramount's TV division. And, these guys have got the stuff.
And they got the spunk.
So I heard them talking about, they've got an idea. What if a guy went back in time to kill Boothby? Interesting. Nobody's ever thought of that concept for Star Trek. Maybe we should give them a bit of cash. Send some money that way.
They're saying Neelix's penis a lot, but I'll ignore that.
Yeah, I'll just gloss over that. We'll just gloss over that. Don't worry about that too much. Yeah.
What do you mean I lost my job because I've been listening to these podcasts and stuff working?
You're telling me I lost my job because I was spending hours on my day scrolling through BlueSky, and then I found a podcast and then spent more hours listening to it, and then I gave those two random people a lot of money for a bad TV show? And now I'm fired? I think you need to get your priorities straight. This is the future we need for this series.
Yeah.
But that'll be in the future when I get an invitation code. So
Elon Musk is. Oh no, Elon Musk isn't going to be on it because he's got Twitter.
That would be kind of that'd be like when he unbanned Trump on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's like Trump's not coming back. He's got his own thing.
Yeah, he's got.
He's also too proud to come crawling back to a website like that.
He already told Elon to kneel and say, please give me subsidies, and you would do it.
He knows his worth. He knows his worth, at least as a content farm, you know.
Yeah.
He's what keeps a lot of people on Truth Social.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if they'll sell Truth Social ever. That'll be funny.
Maybe if he needs to drum up some legal fees.
Fees money.
Who wants to buy Truth Social? But there were a lot of, we had BlueSky. There was that one Mammoth or something. That one seemed really bad. That one was, so the thing with BlueSky is that when you sign up, they have the do you want to join the BlueSky server, or do you want to do like a private hosting server of, social media? Yeah. Mammoth did the same thing, but there was no Mammoth one. It was only private ones.
Okay.
And I'm I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. There's been a lot of those. I can't remember the other ones, but they all like cropped up around the same time of Elon Musk buying Twitter.
There's been a lot because it's a lot of it's about jumping on trends. You know? It's about trying to get some users and then potentially sell. You know, afterwards. But whatever.
Like best case scenario, you attain that spot, that like big four spot for social media.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario. Yeah, you just sell it on after you've fucking scraped a lot of people's data.
Yeah, you sell that data. You know,
and just sell that on, and then you move on to some other tech startup.
Buy a bagel or something.
Yeah,
for it,
So ultimately, not too much risk, really. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Was it Forbes top like under 20 or under 30 or something? Is all in jail right now. 30. For 30 under 30, they're all in jail right now because nothing can happen, Yeah,
nothing can happen, really. It's fine.
Yeah,
this is the thing. In the US, it's fine because they don't have GDPR.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So it's like, they just do whatever they want. Over here, though, you can't get away with that. We've got GDPR. They got to ask you, hey, is it okay if we sell all of your information, please?
Yeah, and you have accept and accept next to each other.
Like, yes, no. No. Rather you didn't, thanks.
Yeah. But,
I'm sure we won't have that for long, though.
Yeah.
That's an EU thing, and I think we still have it, but I don't think it'll be long until UK specifically are like, no, you can, you can sell people's data. Go for it.
Yeah.
The money to be made.
We can tax that income. You mean the income that the corporations have and they don't pay any tax on? Yes, that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But whatever, who cares? I don't use Twitter in general. I don't care about any of those fucking bullshit social media stuff. How about you go outside, huh?
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Elon Musk over here.
How about you fucking go outside?
Elon Musk over here implementing the rate limit thing and constantly saying like, people just go outside, okay? All right, you can't read tweets, just go outside. Meanwhile, he's tweeting like 500 times in a single day.
How about you go? You go away and
you guys.
watch
how about you go talk to your
huh?
family, huh? How about you go put your phone down, talk to your friends, huh?
Yeah. How about you go and record a podcast about Star Trek?
Trying to
talk about Blue Ocean or whatever.
I'm trying to not work, buddy. I'm on a train. I'm trying to look at shit to take my mind off of the fact that there's a man yelling at everybody.
You're randomly yelling. Yeah. And he's got a face, and that face is my face.
Trying to distract myself from the faceless people of the general public, the disgusting random people who I've become completely disconnected and disillusioned from. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I'm looking at tweets. The funny man I follow said something funny. Like, retweet.
Can you read? Oh, I thought you meant. I thought you said like, and then you're going to read it.
No, I said like as in I'm liking it. I suppose it's favoriting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like that Orville episode where they get up and down arrows.
Oh yeah, the what if world was social media episode. What if you got cancelled and cancelling killed you?
Killed you, yeah.
Maybe think about that.
Yeah,
bet you wouldn't cancel people then.
You did it. You gave up on watching that show. So do you want me to tell you who else is in that show?
What? Huh?
Who all the guest stars appear?
You can tell me a couple now. Sure, I'll probably get back to it at some point. It's just I watched that first season in like a rush to be able to discuss it,
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, I was kind of like, I'll just get back to it when I get to it.
I need to watch Black Mirror season 6.
I watched the first episode of the second season. I was like, this feels pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Which made me think that you were right when you analyzed it as second and third seasons probably have better reviews because people dropped off after the first.
Exactly.
The people that really liked the first one stuck around. But anyway, sure, give me some guest stars.
Plox is in there. The guy who played Plox.
Yeah.
Deanna Troi.
Everybody loves Plox.
Is in there.
Yeah.
Tuvok is also in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it. I don't remember anything else.
Okay, well, great.
I don't remember any other.
Pulling the A-listers, aren't they?
The only the only thing I remember now is the overwhelming amount of acoustic guitar solos and singing in the 4th season.
In the 4th
happened
season?
It happened every or so. Every second episode, someone would grab that one guy would
In
grab
the 4th season?
Yeah.
What do you
in
mean,
the 4th?
3rd? There is no
Is it not?
4th, is there?
There's no 3rd? Oh, is there not?
No, it's 3.
Is it 3rd? Yeah, okay, yeah. In the 3rd season, it would grab that guitar.
That makes
play it
sense,
again.
because Seth MacFarlane's a musical man.
Yeah, but it wasn't Seth MacFarlane.
Well, no, but he's going to put him in.
You're gonna put him in.
He's going to put it in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna say at the head of the show we should mention the YouTube thing, but then at the same time, we've talked about a lot of stuff up until now.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna try to actually upload onto YouTube now, and because we couldn't be bothered more than anything.
I think that's a fair way to word it.
The hard truth of it is that too much work.
Mm.
But we're calling ourselves a general media podcast because, just like Fortnite, we had an art direction. We had that art direction. We had an idea of what we're gonna do, and then we got bored of it. So we started putting like Captain America in. We started talking about Black Mirror. So we completely buried that idea of trying to just talk about Star Trek, but we still talk about Star Trek.
So look
at the
forward
same
to
time.
our new general media podcast, which will on YouTube, which will have an image of Star Trek every single episode.
No.
Yeah.
No. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. I know.
I know you know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I said no, and then you went yeah, and I said no, yes, and then you said no.
Uh-huh.
I said yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now we're here,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess now that we brought that up, what have you been watching?
Finished Succession.
Succession.
You know
finally
what?
Finished.
Fuck the Roys.
The Roys,
America's real prestige TV family is back. The righteous gemstones.
Fuck the Roys.
Fuck the Roys.
Piss the world or whatever.
Yeah.
How would you think of it overall? I guess now that you get the entire picture of, I guess we're gonna go into like a bit of a spoiler talk about.
Let's go on a little deep dive. Yeah. No, I liked it.
Yeah.
I
thought that maybe second half of the 3rd season and first half of the 4th season were a bit. Nothing kind of happened, basically.
Yeah,
Nothing interesting was going on. I guess the beginning, of the 4th season where, he.
It was a lot of focus on the election, which I think was important
but that was like near the end of that season. It wasn't at the beginning.
They went to the Nordic.
Yeah, exactly.
Retreat.
Had all of that shit.
They watched. They made all the Gojo people watch the Transformers
Shit.
movie.
yeah.
It sounded really bad, and that was like,
yeah. We're making trash.
It's I mean, this season is obviously each one kind of has a bit of like that main overarching narrative between the family. Like there's a specific relationship between each one. The first season kind of sets them all up and stuff. The second season kind of has Kendall becoming like Logan Roy's like robot servant.
Yeah.
And they're trying to deal with the issue with the cruise cover up.
Yeah, the cruise cover up.
Third season has the flip where it's like now Kendall is the specific enemy of the family.
Yeah.
And now Shiv and Roman are on their dad's side the whole time. And then the 4th season is more supposed to be about, okay, now their dad's dead. What do they do?
The same thing.
Does their unity from the end of last season hold? Unfortunately, it doesn't, because I think I guess the main takeaway is that that level of power is corrupting, regardless of how much you try and stick together, you know?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's just never was going to happen, basically,
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
It's just never, like, I think that Kendall finds that piece of paper that says that he was supposed to be, and he's clearly crossed out, you know? Not,
He's
they're like,
underlined
oh,
at first.
he's underlined, you know?
Is he
like,
underlined
fuck
or
off,
is he
you know?
crossed out?
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, but, you know, it's like, it gives you like, oh, maybe he did think that Kendall was gonna be the one to kind of take over.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so
But-
ambiguous, because it's like the trajectory. There's never really a clear trajectory with what Logan Roy wants to do, you know?
Yeah.
It seems like he's just on fuck it, we ball mode constantly.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of never thought about the fact of what's going to happen after. He never cared what's going to happen after he dies, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
he wanted to, like, he literally wanted to sell the company. Like, he wasn't going to give it to anyone. Like, he was going to sell it, you know? He was going to he was going to finish it himself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he was going to get rid of it himself. He wasn't going to give it to anyone else. He was just going to, he opened that chapter, which is the, you know, Waystar company, and he was going to close it. And he didn't care about he didn't plan on having anyone kind of be there, you know, to take over after him. He, you know, he saw
He didn't want anybody to be
Waystar
doing
as,
it.
yeah, he saw Waystar as his company, nobody else's, you know?
His monolith. Just
Yeah,
for him.
exactly.
His pile, as he says.
Yeah, exactly.
He's made his pile
everyone,
and he wants them to go and make their own piles.
yeah, exactly. And there is like, and to be honest, like, third and fourth season, I very much very, very much struggled to kind of feel empathy for the characters at that point, you know?
I don't
like very much struggled to kind of empathize with anything that was happening to them, you know?
I
they had-
think I still empathize with them, because I think it's a good kind of showing. I think they've all got solid pathos still, despite the fact that they are, you know, nothing bad can ever really happen to them.
Yeah,
because they're
definitely.
billionaires. But they've still got solid pathos. Like, what I feel like they introduced more of that in the third and fourth season, just to try and like cement it a bit further before the ending. Like, obviously, Shiv's got a really struggled relationship with her mother and her father, in that it's like, you know, she tries to. She's like probably the one that's most like torn between like wanting to make them proud and wanting to be independent of them, I guess, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
On the one hand, it's like she doesn't. I mean, there's the good example in the third season how she's not even thinking about actually having a kid with Tom until like her mother not goads her, but like just kind of tells her like, you know, you wouldn't be good at being a mother, and then it's like, well, now I have to prove her wrong, but in a way make her proud, you know, by proving that I can do it despite her her beliefs, you know. So there's stuff like that, and ultimately I think I have empathy for them because of how I get as a I mean, obviously you've got a brother, obviously you've got a sibling, but I mean I could see a lot of mine and my brothers in them, in the three main kids, you know. So that helped me empathize with them. But even beyond that, it's like, I think seeing their unity constantly being like torn apart essentially by grabs for power, you know, that amount of power made them kind of feel pretty human, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just seeing it. The thing about it is that like seeing it happen over and over again. That's what grinded it for me. You know, ground me for it. You know.
Yeah.
Because I get it. Like that's the thing. In reality, I get those sort of situations, but do I want to see that in a show? You know. Because like. Gets a bit boring, you know.
Sure.
Like Kendall tries to do something, he gets fucked. You know, he comes down. Kendall tries to do something again. He gets fucked.
Yeah.
They're
all
and then
very...
it happens again.
Yeah.
And again.
The three
and
of
again,
them are very... Yeah, I think the three of them are very formulaic in that they never really, like, break away from their place in this family, and the kind of actions that they take. Like, Roman is always, like, the one that is the most, like, boastful and outspoken, but is clearly the most afraid out of all of them, and he never stops being that, even up until the end. Shiv is the one that's most torn between, like, wanting to be independent but also wanting to be heavily involved and run it, and like you said, Kendall is always the one that's, like, trying to steal it, essentially,
Like,
they never break away from that
sort of thing.
and
like,
I think
I think Kendall believes that it's his.
They reveal that in the 4th season, how, like, his dad said it would be his when he was, like, 7. And then the rest of his life is a constant, like, tease of like dangling in front of his dad, dangling it in front of him and then pulling it away, like, no, you're not good enough, sorry.
Like he says, like, I feel like I've been a gear made for a machine. That there's only one machine that I can fit into.
But I think I get what you mean with that, and I think it's a similar complaint I had with
saying that it could have been shorter. There you go.
That's
it, sort of thing.
I get that. I think it's a similar sort of complaint I had with Beef as well, where it's like like it's a little too repetitive in that it's like the constant thing is just these characters aren't talking, and then the ending being, and then they finally talk. It's like it took too long to get here, it feels like, especially based on the actions that went there. This is a similar thing I think you're saying, and I agree, where it's like you kind of see these same motions going over and over. I think the thing that made it interesting for me, though, still up until the end, is the how close they come to it constantly,
exactly.
It's like, the first season, it never feels like it starts with them being on the brink of getting it, because Logan Roy's he has a stroke and stuff, but then it kind of he gets stronger, and the idea of that actually happening gets further and further away as you learn more about Logan Roy, and about how it's like, oh, this guy's never going to give it up, even when he's like giving up, it's not him giving it up to his kids, it's him just like wiping his hands of the thing and going, somebody else can have it. This is pay me money and you can have it.
I'm like I said, I'm closing this. Like, this is exactly my choice,
But then that 4th season, I think what made it still entertaining, or at least the finale for sure, is that they really are like right on the cusp, right on the brink of having it.
Definitely. And that finale was really good.
And despite the level of like strong unity that they finally have in that ending, I mean, essentially their character growth, it kind of bait and switches you, in that you think that whole finale is like, look how they've grown as characters, they're trusting each other, they're all realizing, like, although I want it, it is right that Kendall is the one that makes the most sense to have it, so they're putting away their pride, but even then, right on the brink, right on the cusp, that level of power, that level of responsibility, that anticipation still causes them to explode, and there's no scenario in which that doesn't happen,
And the thing is that it's like specifically is because of Shiv, like the issue with it is that, to be honest, like, we do have that kind of closure of like, oh, they're kind of together at the same time, but they never acknowledged a certain thing that's been kind of following Shiv throughout the entire thing. Because I do agree that, like, Shiv's thing is that, like, she wants to be separate, independent, but she wants to be in the family at the same time, and
rather in the company as the family,
in the company. But like, I think the biggest thing there is that no one ever asked her. Never did she was considered even. No, of course. Like Logan Roy did it as a play when he wanted her on her side, not actually thinking about her taking over. Because you can see it in in that season where she gets like put in a separate room whenever to get her told to walk away, or like not sit in on their meetings, So it was clearly, this was just, this is just Logan playing her, using her as a tool because she has a voting rights, on the I don't think she has the voting rights, but
she's on the board.
She was on the board, yeah.
In the end, at least she got on the board after.
At the end, she was, yeah, because that was one of the conditions. That
the
board.
Conditions with the with Sandy and whatever.
We get an extra seat, and you get an extra seat, and that went to Shiv, and like that's the thing. It's like every single time she had to like there was. Remember, there was that period when Kendall and Roman were together co-CEOs, and that she agreed for that to happen, and she. And they talked about, it'll be like few months, and then whatever they sell the company or something. There was like some plan where she would be in like a position of a CEO or something like that. But like she clearly she literally says that like, please don't fuck me over on this, you know. Yeah. So there is that moment of like, there is that notion of like, oh yeah, they're coming together. But they never actually acknowledge any of the issues, They never acknowledge, they never say sorry, They never, because the thing about is that it's still business to them. It isn't actual relationships within the family. It's a play. Like exactly this entire thing, it's a play, That's the big theme kind of Succession is, what's your play?
I think it's about trauma.
And in reality, Greg wins. Greg wins the entire show,
Yeah.
He makes the biggest jump, He makes the biggest jump out of all of them.
And he's the one that falls the furthest.
No, he doesn't.
No, in terms of his humanity.
Yeah, of course.
He starts the show as just like, I'm just some guy, I'm kind of nice. But then by the end, he's like cocaine fiend businessman.
Yeah.
Just trying to get by. He doesn't even have any actual skills.
They corrupted him.
Yeah,
he has no skills.
He's his.
You're my Greg.
What's the fucking weird rapey thing that Tom says to him, where he's like, I'm Nero and you're like my boy servant that I fall in love with and I castrate you.
Yeah. He castrated a boy because he looked like his wife, and he dresses you're like my boy.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's I don't know. It's like, I agree where it's with all that, but I still found it very entertaining up until the end,
Yeah, definitely. And the ending, I think like the ending is very, very, it's a very sad ending. It's a very,
but at the same time, like there is that kind of like disconnect of reality, where it's like you have this element of like, oh, the family have been like kicked out of their company that their dad left. They never got the chance to really make him proud.
Yeah.
But it's like they also get like billions of dollars.
Yeah, exactly. They get billions of payout.
They get to walk away and literally never have to work a day again.
But it's like life. The same thing.
And for their families as well. We'll never have to do
Kendall says it, He says is that I need something.
Because ultimately for all three of them, the real reason why they're fighting so hard to like kind of keep it in the end is because like in some way they can make their dad proud.
Yeah,
because all three of them have never really made their dad proud as far as they feel, so it's like, maybe if we keep the company and we run it well, as three of us, right? Wink, wink.
Yeah,
wink,
yeah,
wink,
exactly.
wink.
As three, of course.
Then we'll be doing good. We'll have the company and everything, and yada yada yada. I think that's one thing. As the show went on, I kind of got a bit like, they got a bit too inside baseball,
Yeah,
that
was something I'm gonna mention because
stuff that I'm like kind of. I think early on there's a lot of it, but you're still kind of clear on like the intention, of the story. Where it's like I don't necessarily understand all the verbiage that they're using.
Yeah, we need to deploy the poison pill.
Yeah, exactly.
And like,
but
I
you
get
understood the relationships and the motion of the show, the direction it was going, despite not knowing what those were. But by the end, you're kind of like, I don't fully understand why they need to go to Norway to convince Alexander Skarsgård to
it's like
not
yeah,
do the
that
thing.
freak Alexander Skarsgård.
What's his name? It's something Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård.
He played in the Viking.
Yeah, I know. But he's one of the Skars because there's two of them. There's the little weird one who played the clown.
Yeah, the thing.
And then there's the big guy that played the Viking. I can't remember which one.
Man.
Can't remember which one.
You either clown Max or you become
Jester Max, or you become the
Jester
the Trad
Chad.
Viking. Yeah.
Trad
Which
Viking.
way is Skarsgård?
the scale of Skarsgård. It's called. But yeah, exactly with that that lingo shit. I was like, I don't know. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh whatever. It seems like, are you just doing what it's the choice to do, these are just procedures that every corporation follows. Because I was talking about, I think with someone about it, it's oh yeah, when I watch EPO, right, or something, I look at that, that art, that craft, that of boxing and whatever, and you can see him train for it, and you're like, wow,
you can enjoy it as an outsider.
You can enjoy it as an outsider.
You don't need to be an enthusiast or in the know to get everything and feel the passion in it and stuff. But for, I don't know, in the later the some of the third and most of the fourth, it's I don't know what's happening with this business stuff.
I don't know what's happening. How many people are on board and how many companies fucking own this company now? They sold it 3 times now. It's what the fuck is going on? But, and it's interesting. It's definitely it's a highly recommend.
It's a very good show. It's very good comedy drama. It's funny,
but it becomes less comedy the further you get into the show. Basically, I definitely didn't find it as funny.
No,
I found it tragic.
I agree with that. Because
it
still
very much
in there,
was trying to have funny. There was it was funny at the beginning. It wasn't tragic funny
in the first 3 seasons for sure, but the final season kind of drains it. Not in a very natural. I think Barry is much better at draining comedy out of itself because
definitely.
It's kind of it just gets worse as it goes on, but it feels a bit more abrupt in this one where it's first 3 seasons are quite funny. Fourth one just not as funny. It feels like a bit more of a drop off. Not that that's a huge issue per se, but
definitely. It's just if you're coming in assuming something and then you go fuck or whatever, then
you know why I think I'm a bit more favorable on this show than you.
Yeah.
Overall, because I love Tom and Greg. Buddy, if Tom and Greg aren't on the screen, I'm saying, where's Tom and Greg? What are they up to?
You're right. Yeah.
I love their characters so much.
It's like a Hanna-Barbera show,
Absolutely
going on in the background. Yeah, definitely.
They
are very good because they're outsiders.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
They're
That's
outsiders
exactly
we are.
Because there's so many times I'm watching the family stuff and I'm I'm interested. I'm not as engaged.
Yeah, exactly.
But
absolutely,
then seeing their choices as a family affect the people around them that work for them / are involved. Obviously, the closest being Tom and Greg, but then also Jerry, Frank, Carl, all those people, is the more interesting part of the show because they're obviously all stuck in this, the kids can't say anything to Logan because of anxiety, because of childhood trauma. Let's say They can't speak. They have the power to speak up against him, but they can't because they're afraid of him because he's a scary dad. He's They shrink up, sometimes literally in terms of Roman.
Yeah, Roman. Yeah,
very good actor. Kieran Culkin's probably
definitely.
the best in the show, I think.
Definitely.
Really good at playing those extremes of cocky piece of shit. Nepotism, doesn't really know what he's fucking doing, but is a pretty good talker kind of asshole. But then also the weirdest sex freak in the show.
Yeah.
But then also a fucking baby.
Yeah, a baby.
A complete broken little man.
Yeah, how quickly he can become just absolutely distraught,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
and not be able to do anything. Like he becomes disabled, you know.
But that's good. But yeah, no, I think mostly it's like Tom and Greg, for me at least, were the heart of the show.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And there's less
couldn't
of
love
them, you know, in those later seasons.
A little bit, but then you know
No,
who's the one that comes out in charge of the company?
Big spoiler.
It's Tom.
It's Tom.
He's there. He's the one that.
It was an obvious choice.
Lucas appoints as the shadow CEO, the American side CEO, which I wasn't super clear on. Like they
owns operations in America. I think that's what he means.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wasn't super clear on it. So they were doing that because they were like, oh, if this guy wins, then he's gonna close the deal, but he'll be favorable on it if there's an American side CEO. But what I got from the election stuff, the election subplot of this season, was that he didn't really win, but they were still, I guess, they were still taking very huge precautions under the guise that he did win, because they basically faked the election news.
Yeah, they faked the election. They
were
called the results before But
it felt like that was never really resolved whether he actually won or not. It was like they just kind of like, well, they called it, and then it does stay away. They were just going with it. Everybody else acts as though that guy's won because they called it like that.
Yeah,
even though from the sounds of things, it was more leading to the Democratic nominee winning, but I don't know.
Yeah. It was. They set another thing is they set a bunch of ballots on fire that were absentee ballots.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like with the absentee ballots, it was set up where it's like if there aren't any, there needs to be a revote in that state.
Yeah.
And then you find out who the actual president is after the revote. But obviously they hadn't done the revote before the finale is supposed to take place. And it's setting up all these, like, there's riots and stuff going on. People are going crazy in the world because this I mean, you know, light fascist has won the election, you know?
Yeah. Attack on democracy.
You know? Exactly. Yeah. But I don't know, it just felt like it didn't really, it was crucial to the story, but not really resolved in a way that felt great, at least from how I was viewing it. Maybe I missed something, and I just didn't catch it.
Because they wanted to get him elected because they hoped that the company from being bought by a
I understand why they wanted him in and why they called the election in his favor early.
I know.
It was more just like it didn't feel like it resolved after that. Like they did that, and then everybody just acted like, well, the reality is now. And then I can only take from that the message of like, the media chooses our reality, and I'm kind of like, I don't really agree. I think it's a give and take.
Yeah, I think one of the kind of things was that like why like the air kind of came out of them, and they got their entire plan was to block the deal through electing a fascist, which is pretty extreme, to be honest.
It was their only solution.
It was their only,
because they kept
the final solution,
and
you could say.
Up everything else that they tried.
You could call it the final solution, but
like their plan before that was, let's show him a really bad movie.
Yeah,
show him a bad movie, and then say, "Oh boy, we made a bad movie, huh? What a shitter! You sure you want to buy this company?
Yeah,
because it made a really bad movie. Are you sure you want to buy it?"
Yeah, exactly. And you know, what they assumed, because they assumed, right, that he's going to he's gonna block this deal, but it seemed like he wasn't really that keen. He didn't care. Like he did. Remember, they talked to him after the election.
And he was just like, he was most likely going to block it because it was a foreign deal, you know. Selling an American company to a so it goes against what he's running on. But from the way that the guy's acting, it's kind of like he could still go either way on it, you know. He didn't really care.
Because Roman brought that idea, and he was like, get this guy in, and he told me that for sure he's going to block it, you know, sort of thing. But at the party, they kind of went, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, well, I think he was like that only because it's
emotion.
Like he was gonna do it, but he was only gonna do it because he made a deal, you know.
they put into motion the entire nuking the fucking thing with trying to get Kendall to be the CEO.
Anyway, fuck all of
And
that
you got-
stuff. The funeral was good.
Yeah,
Good.
funeral
I liked
was
the
good.
funeral scene. I liked Ewan's eulogy, his brother.
Yeah,
It was good because it added a bit of like, I guess a bit more of an actual tragedy to a bit of pathos to Logan Roy, where it's up until then it's like you can see he's like kind of human, but he is a monster, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
But it kind of it showed the side of him of like ultimately he was a man of his time, you know.
yeah,
A man
I
that was
did find
horribly
it.
fucked by the kind of shit he had to go through in the war, in the Second World War as a child. So
Yeah.
you know.
It's yeah, definitely. And you got the funeral. The Roman breaks down like a baby during it, and yeah, it's good. I do find it quite like the ending. To be honest, the ending with like Shiv and Tom in the limousine gave me a little bit of like, like I just went like
It's
literally like.
uncomfortable. So it's not
like,
it's not a pleasant ending for either of them, really. I don't think, in terms of their relationship. Tom got what he wanted. Obviously, he has that big speech to Shiv about how, he loves his job and he loves material possessions. He fucking loves. Yeah. He adores being a piece of shit. Basically,
I love nice things.
Yeah,
I love wine.
So he wins in that regard. He wins in terms of his, his vocation, his job. He gets to the very top of what he wants, basically.
Yeah.
But in terms of it ruins his relationship with Shiv, obviously. Relationship that was already doomed this season anyway, but then they end up locked together essentially.
Yeah, I feel like she's more trapped than he is in this relationship. That's the kind of part of this.
No, for sure. But I mean, I don't know. It's like at the end of the day, it's a choice. Like she literally had the two choices in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes to deal Tom CEO, no to deal Kendall CEO, and for her, she went the former is better. The yes is a better outcome.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like it's a rough ending for her, but it is literally one of her own choice ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that was more to do with
It's
the
tragic,
actual.
but,
It was more having to do with the fact that she was able to make that decision, rather because it was their idea, right? It was Kendall's idea. It was Kendall's idea. The kind of less Roman's idea, I guess, to become the CEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kendall wins, and this way no one kind of wins, and maybe that sometimes is the best outcome.
That's the thing. I think ultimately,
situations.
in terms of like the grand scheme of things, the outcome was good.
Yeah, I know. all of them get billions of dollars, and
not even in terms of the three kids they get $1 billion, but I mean in terms of like the world outside of those three kids. It's like this isn't a bad outcome,
Yeah,
it's really only bad for the three kids because of their emotional investment in trying to like keep it in the family and posthumously like make their dad proud.
Yeah,
and they failed because the idea of one of them being in charge just tore them apart and turned Kendall into like a monster at the end.
Yeah,
where he's like Roman's having second thoughts and he's like literally like opening his fresh wound.
Mm-hmm.
And then
definitely.
Shiv wants out and he just starts saying like first of all, Shiv is like does a fucking piece of shit thing in that it's like she tries to justify saying no by being like, "Will you kill the kid?" And then
absolutely.
Literally the season before, she's saying like she's trying to cheer him up and like justify what happened, and that it's like you weren't really like
Yeah, because she was just grasping at straws. She was finding
Yeah, exactly.
any
But that's the
reason
thing,
rather
like
than...
using it as ammunition, like, you know, the hypocrisy of that action, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
But then obviously
the
the way that Kendall reacts as well is monstrous in that he's like, oh, I didn't actually, no.
Yeah, it didn't
And
count.
I really like that performance as well, because it literally had me as the viewer questioning, like, did he? Like, did he just, like, did he even get in the car? Like, I know he did, obviously, but, like, the way he's, like, talking about it is so, like...
It was all a thing.
Was it, like, an unreliable narrator or something?
I just made it up as a play, you know?
Did he
It's
just, did he just, like, freak out and imagine that he was in the car with it? But obviously, I, as the viewer, no, of course he was in the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that,
know.
and then there's like the way Roman like starts to erupt as well and throw like illegitimate children at him and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
not even illegitimate children, but like you know,
stepchildren.
Essentially.
Well,
it's like
not even
like questionable paternity, you know.
Yeah.
Him not actually being the father of his child and stuff, kind of thing. But yeah, so, you know, yeah. They all kind of fall apart at the end. They lose their growth. They were all poised to kind of move on and together as a trio, as siblings. But they don't. Anyway, I'm a Con head. I just thought I'd say that now at the end. Connor is my favorite character. I think if I were one of the children, I'd probably be Connor.
You'd be a libertarian.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
live in a commune in the desert somewhere.
A ranch. It wasn't a commune. It was a ranch.
Oh yeah.
I would go to Slovakia.
Yeah.
You know,
become an
ambassador in Slovakia. And then you know my wife can stay in New York and she can do her plays, and I'll be in Slovakia. You know, we'll be you know, split our time, be fine. I'd be the son that's like always being like, oh, I don't want to know anything about the business. I don't want anything to do with the business. But also, if you could please give me $1 million, please.
Yeah. I'm running a campaign as a
I'm going to become president.
Less than 1%. I really need that $1 million.
No. He ended up with
myself up.
He ended up with Alaska. Remember, it was like he was leading in Alaska in the polls.
Yeah, of course.
He was doing good in Alaska.
He was really. That's a very important state.
Well, that's the thing. At the end, that percentage was important because it was neck and neck the election.
Yeah, definitely.
His percentage was crucial.
Which indirectly he fucked his own. He fucked over his own.
Yeah.
Siblings,
Connor's great. Connor, Tom, and Greg are my favorite characters. I really like the weird relationship that Jerry has with Roman. I think that's a very cool, unique thing in the show. Roman in general as a character is a really well done character. I think he's very endearing. He's a huge piece of shit, but he's interesting to watch. I mean, at the end of the day, he is a like a, you know, a fascist. He's like
absolutely
conservative,
like, with that hair,
far right guy. Yeah, but he's a fun character to watch. I like the show.
A funny fascist. He's like Charlie Chaplin. He's like the dictator.
Chaplin. Yeah,
he's also playing a fascist there.
But yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah,
Succession.
It's finished to completion.
I think that would probably be the maybe title of the episode. Which way Skarsgård? Maybe.
Yeah. But you know,
because we can't call it Success. Because I already did a Succession bit in one of the other.
You did.
Descriptions or something.
It's a recycled bit, by the way, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're keeping track.
Yeah.
This is taken out of the refrigerator.
Put in the microwave for like 30 seconds. So it's like it's steaming and it's hot on the outside, but you know that shit's cold as soon as you spoon it up.
Yeah. Do you think microwaves are kind of like replicators? Kind of?
No.
Not really.
No, I don't.
I need to bring it back to Star Trek. We gotta end it on. At least we have to end it on some Star Trek stuff.
Okay. I think
Strange New Worlds new season.
I haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it the first season either.
Okay.
We're fake
If
Star Trek fans.
Succession were a Star Trek ship, Logan Roy would be captain. Kendall would be number 1. Shiv would be the science of no communications. Roman would be the security officer.
No, Roman would be like Neelix. He would be like
Roman
just
would
some
be
guy on the.
Neelix. Jerry would be medical officer, chief of medical.
Yes.
Frank would be a weird alien.
Yes.
Connor would be an admiral. No, wait, Logan would be an admiral.
No, Logan
Would be the admiral. Kendall would be the captain. Roman would be number 1.
Yeah.
Shiv would
to
be
honest.
communications officer.
It's horrible.
She is. She does like she does comms for the fucking
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
for the political
politicians. Yeah,
politicians.
she does the PR stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So communications.
Tom would be like
Tom would
O'Brien.
be the engineer.
Because he would be like, O'Brien when he climbs up.
Greg would
climbs
be
up.
everybody's favorite ensign.
Yeah, Wesley Crusher.
What is it? Tom would be.
He would just
Greg
be
would
Wesley Crusher.
Greg is Wesley, pretty much. That's one thing I got with this show that I kept feeling is like, man, this show's literally just Arrested Development.
Yeah,
The structure of this is like, there were even like some story beats that I was like, fuck, that's exactly like Arrested Development, but I can't remember now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Tom and Shiv deciding that they're gonna have an open relationship. You know?
Oh yeah.
Tom
right
being
before their wedding day,
the weird outsider stepbrother, Greg being the young, fresh-faced, uncorrupted child. You know.
he was already kind of corrupt.
Yo, you know
he was
who's
a bit of a dick.
You know who is a sleeper hit in this show? One of my favorite
sleeper
characters,
hits.
but like doesn't get a lot going on, especially in the later seasons. Marsha.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I love Marsha.
She's a killer.
Marsha's
a
sick,
killer.
Dude. Marsha's so cool.
It's a fucking Terminator.
Marsha's great, and her final scene where she talks to Shiv at the funeral is really, really good. It's very small, but it's very damn.
Yeah.
I believe Marsha when she talks about her and Logan Roy's love. Obviously, all the kids keep calling it bullshit. There's an element of it like it feels like they definitely had some kind of mutual respect, like love for each other and stuff. It's weird, but yeah. Roman sending dick pics to Jerry and then accidentally sending one to Logan. Very funny scene.
Yeah. And it completely ruins his chances at anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally the thing that completely ruins his chances at anything. Like, he can see how distant Logan Roy becomes from that incident on. Yeah, it's rough.
Very funny.
It's rough.
It's
funny. It's very funny.
Accidental sending a dick pic to his dad, and like the reaction of Logan being like, "She's a million years old." It's disgusting.
Yeah, and
it's like
that's
it's funny, especially seeing as like obviously it's a few episodes after. Yeah, the irony is obviously very clear, seeing as he is literally fucking his assistant, who's like 50 years younger than him.
Yeah, exactly. But she's distraught.
She's fucked up at the end. She's that poor
absolutely
woman.
distraught.
That was
more
good.
distraught than Kendo or Shiv, to be honest.
Yeah, she's like completely shaken.
Yeah.
Probably because, unlike the kids, she saw him die, I guess. Probably a little affecting. But yeah, that was a good scene at the funeral as well.
I see people die all the time. I don't care.
The ex-wife with getting her mistress, and then going over to Marsha.
Yeah, that fuck.
And
Marsha
getting her mistress, and they kind of confront each other, but then in the end they're like, they have a bond, It's like they're over at this point because he's dead, and they realize like, Yeah, they were all kind of just
Another-
using him. Ultimately, they're all pretty much.
Yeah,
the same.
exactly. Yeah, literally, they're all the same. It doesn't matter who's better or worse in
Yeah.
the situation.
In the end,
But,
it's
like,
like we're both
an-
we all knew what we were doing.
Another-
None of us
Another
really loved him.
insane parasite. The worst shit. Not like the worst characters in terms of like their existence or the way they're written, but that fucking dude that tries to marries their mother. The
Munyon.
Oh
I think
my
his
God,
name was
Munyon.
Munyon.
Oh my
that
God!
sucked, dude.
Every
That was so
single
funny.
fucking time he was on screen, I was like, "Fucking go away!"
That's great.
Like,
Good character. The mother in general,
Like-
the kid's
Yeah.
mum in general is it's a good character. She's like very rarely in it. I think similar sort of character to Ewan, where she appears like once a season, if that.
Mhm.
But she always
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like has a good scene, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's at the like the fucking guys at the end, like their father died, and they're like talking about this plan of how like to get together, and it was Roman got beat up, and you went to her, and he's brought this like idiot to bring like this like idea to them, like pitch this idea to them, and he's mad at them that he doesn't want to. They don't want to see it, and he's like, "What a waste of fucking time!" Like he's just mad, and I'm like,
Good
"Oh,
stuff.
fuck off!"
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of good characters. Good show.
yeah.
Give it a watch if you haven't heard of this little show. It's called Succession.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm moving on to the real.
What
I
would
said at the beginning. What?
What would Logan Roy say? Is engaged? What would he say?
Probably like fuck off.
You fuck off.
Alright. Let's fuck off. And then the
Yeah,
ship
there you
blasts
go.
away. That was a good scene as well. One more. Oh, this scene is good too, moment. But I liked when they're in what is obviously at that point Connor and Willa's apartment.
Yeah.
And they're watching the video of them.
Oh yeah, the one of the last videos.
Yeah, and it's like
Logan Roy.
like I think probably the only like real only genuine moment that we ever see of Logan Roy in the whole show. And probably the same for the kids ultimately, you know?
Yeah.
The only genuine moment that they ever see of him. It was nice. Also, sorry, I keep going, oh, yes, one scene. But the final bit of Tom putting the sticker on Greg.
Yeah.
Very, very nice touch.
That's
Very, very nice touch. Like that a
I
lot.
pick you.
Yeah. He's keeping
You
him.
my pick.
He's keeping
I'm
him.
keeping you. I'm keeping you. Yes,
He has enough. He had
right,
enough
Greg.
capital.
That's
keep
exactly right, Greg. I'm keeping you.
Anyway, fuck the Roys. I'm watching The Righteous Gemstones now. America's True Premier Family.
I give 4.5 toilet wines out of a stroke to this show.
Out of a stroke.
Yes.
Okay, I give 4.5 viciously masturbating to an old woman berating you for being disgusting. Out of
Zzz.
5 Gojos.
Lovers. Oh,
5 Gojos.
Gojo.
5 Gojos.
Nice.
Gojo is the best, like, this bullshit app name.
It's a
That
good
apparently
name.
does everything. It's streaming, it's social media, and it's betting.
Yeah,
and
it's like Twitter soon. Twitter is gonna, like we were talking about Twitter at the beginning. It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that's what.
It's like Jeremy Strong was just like, I don't want to have to come up with like an actual app, so I'm just going to come up with one like perfect monolithic, it's like tech app that has everything. And I was just going to say that they're trying to acquire Gojo. Ooh, now Gojo's acquiring them. Or can they? Oh, now they're turning it around. Can they acquire Gojo? No, they can't. Gojo's going to get them. They got to block the Gojo deal. Go watch Righteous Gemstones instead. It's got John Goodman in it. It's great.
John Goodman.
It's
He lost a lot of weight. I think, right?
It's decent. I mean, he's old now, so you know
Oh,
he's quite an old man. He's good in Righteous Gemstones, though. It's a funny show. It is very similar to Succession. I'd started watching it before Succession, like last year, and I would hear people compare it as like it's like the South America, like religious, or South United States religious version of the Roys, essentially. Like if the Roys are supposed to be billionaires, the gemstones are millionaires, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't be billionaires, would they?
They're probably billionaires in that show because it's like mega church stuff.
It's more like a yeah session, you know, like yeah session, because it's Alf and cowboys there. Yeah.
No, it's more like flyover states, like Bible Belt stuff, you know. Not like
up.
Texas.
Giddy up session. Giddy up.
More like y'all come back now, you hear?
Session. Yeah.
It's more like Righteous Gemstones. Check it out, HBO.
Oh, okay.
It's better than Succession.
We're not sponsored by HBO.
I am. I'm sponsored by Righteous Gemstones. Thanks for listening, everybody.
They contacted you with a deal.
They got me. Yeah, no, they came to me.
That's it.
They came to me like, hey, do you and this other guy want a deal? And I was like, no, but I do.
Yeah, that's your play.
Pocket the money. That's my play. I've learned a lot about plays from Succession. I'm a master of plays now.
Master of plays.
Pagliacci, Fiddler on the Roof, you name it.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for listening to Dead Ensigns, Star Trek Skewed General Media Podcast. You can find us now on YouTube, pointing at camera. But if not that,
there is no cameras.
Your podcast app of choice. Make sure to subscribe and rate, please. I've been Ben. This is Max. We finished the Star Trek game too. It was good. You can check that out on YouTube too when we put the VODs on there. I just dump the whole things on there. I don't do any editing, so I can't be bothered. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on yada yada. Email us deadensigns@gmail.com. Bye.
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 It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.